Okay, welcome back to our next video in the SmarterHash series. This particular video is really not going to spend a lot of time on SmarterHash, but I'll talk about SmarterHash and the pool software, and also what is a Stratum server, why it's called Stratum, and what it does. First thing to remember is, or to know, is that the pool software and the Stratum server are two different servers, and they are two different pieces of software developed by two different groups. But the Stratum software does interface to the pool software, so they are loosely coupled, and they are coupled by way of a database primarily. So let's go back to our coin Digicoin, which for 100 megahash was producing about $13.98 a day, which is an extraordinary number. If you're not mining Digicoin right now, or you're looking at this video some years or months or weeks from now, you're probably going to be disappointed that you weren't mining Digicoin like I have all of my hash dedicated to right now. But in any event, Digicoin right now only has a network hash of 989. So let's just use my number. I've got 600 megahash, and right now I am in Digicoin. So as we learned earlier, if you're mining a coin, you type in your number followed by a slash and the ticker. So it's telling me, Jeff, you're going to have a good day, because your average 24-hour income right now is $87.59. Do I think for 1 minute that this is going to continue? Absolutely not. Because the average network hash for Digicoin over the past 24 hours has been 3,000 megahash. All right. So clearly, this number is going to rise. You can get lucky, but you can't get lucky forever. On top of that, it's not producing what it normally produces right now because the blocks are down, but we've already been through that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump from here over to the Digicoin pool. So, as you can see, here's my hash rate. But what I want to point out is some other interesting information. All right. Now, this number is going to vary pretty dramatically. Normally, Digicoin is cranking out blocks at a rate of about 1 every minute and a half. But as we saw, its blockchain has slowed down just a little bit, and recently it's only producing about half the number of blocks that it normally does, at least in the past 15 minutes. In the past half hour, it was pretty close, so it's going to come back up. I'm not worried about that. I've got more important things to worry about, but this isn't one of them. But file this away. All right, right now it's saying an average of 3 minutes and 16 seconds for the network to produce a block. But the pool is finding blocks at a rate of every 2 minutes and 41 seconds. So you can say, well, how is that possible? Well, it's possible because we base this number on an average. And this is the average amount of time that it has taken the pool to find the last 10 blocks. All right. So, but the advertised specs for Digicoin, I believe, are 1 block every 2 minutes. All right. And we can calculate that pretty fast. Let's just go back here for a second. 1141. So if we take 1141 divided by 24, that's 47 blocks an hour. All right. 47 blocks. 60 minutes divided by 47 blocks is 127. So their advertised block rate is probably every 90 seconds. So let's just remember that. Every 90 seconds, every minute and a half, on average, Digicoin is going to generate a block. As a matter of fact, I typically take the stats that they publish on their homepage or on their page on the forums, and I publish those on the homepage of the pool. Okay, their announcement was pretty big, so I didn't put the whole thing out here. So if I just go back to their original announcement, they may actually have the information here, what their block times are. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. You just never know. All right. They're saying that that they produce blocks every 60 seconds. Okay. So we're going to use 60 seconds as the average. All right. Their blockchain is slowed down, but every 60 seconds. So let's go back to the pool, and I want to pull up the pool statistics. All right. Okay. Now you can see that it was 3 minutes. Now it's dropped down to 146, but they're advertising 60 seconds. So we're going to remember that. So people ask me all the time, how long does it take to get my coins? Well, that varies. It varies depending on the coin, because each coin developer advertises a different number of confirmations before you can get your coin. And you're going to ask, well, what is a confirmation? Well, a confirmation is basically from the time you mine a coin, how many other blocks have to be generated in the blockchain before your coin is available for you to do something with. So it's basically the number of blocks that have to be generated after the block that you got your coins in was generated. That is what a confirm is. So typically what I do for most coins in most pools is that I set the number of confirms to 120. That typically handles me and keeps the wallet in the pool safe from getting overdrawn faster than they actually get confirmed by the coin. The pool's wallet can get overdrawn. But if you come here to block overview, and this is on every pool on LifeForce, you will see at the bottom of the chart how many confirms have to occur before you're going to be entitled to your coins. So this says 120. For something like Bunny Coin, I may have it set at 180. For Nova Coin, it might be 360 because that is what they say. So I follow their examples. So for instance, it says, okay, 120 confirms is what has to occur before you're entitled to your blocks or to your coins. Now remember, the advertised spec for this coin is 60 seconds. So 120 times 60 is 120 times 60, which is 120 minutes, which is basically 2 hours. So typically, if the blockchain does what it says it's going to do, okay, welcome back to the SmarterHash video series. This particular video, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on SmarterHash. What I'm instead going to do is to spend a little time and talk about the pool software and also the Stratum server / Stratum software. And basically, pool software communicates with the Stratum software, but not directly. The only two things they share in common is a table in a database. And the Stratum software basically writes records into a database from the shares that your mining computer submits. So let's just take a quick look. We're going to go back to Digicoin, which is where we left off in the last video. All right. So from there I'm going to hop over and I'm going to jump into the Digicoin pool. All right, the Digicoin pool shows the people mining in the pool right now. And one of the things that it also shows is the number of shares that they've submitted. So the more mining computers you have, or let's just say the faster your mining computers, the more shares you get to submit. That's the way it works. All right, and the pool is based on what is called a round, and a round, R-O-U-N-D, is basically how long it takes to find a block. And once a block is found, the block reward for that coin is divvied up amongst the people who have submitted shares in that round. Now, one thing I will point out is that your network hash in a pool is never wasted on any of the life force pools. That is because you don't have to be present to win. Let's say you jump into the Digicoin pool and you mine there for 10 or 15 minutes and you get really disappointed because you see that no blocks have been found and you leave. Well, you've submitted shares that are part of that round, and once a block is found, you still get a percentage of the coin reward or the block reward in that round. All right, so don't forget that. Just because you jump in a pool and you leave and you don't find anything doesn't mean that you're not going to get something, because when the block is found, eventually you're going to get a percentage of it. All right, so that's really the nice thing about the way that the life force pools work. You don't have to be present to win. If you jump in a pool and you start mining and you leave before a block is found, your shares still count, and they are out there as part of the contributor shares. All right, so just remember that. One thing I'm going to point out here, I get asked all the time, is how long does it take to get my coins? Well, that varies from coin to coin because each coin developer publishes a different number of confirms. All right, and I'm going to explain what confirms are right now. Confirms are the number of blocks that the blockchain must produce after the block in which you were part of the round occurs. So let's say you're mining and you find you're part of the round that found block number 100, and the coin developer says that it takes 120 confirms. So let's say you were part of the group that found block number 100. Well, 120 blocks have to go by. So basically you have to get up to block 220, or the blockchain has to get up to block number 220 before your coins are confirmed. Now, how long it takes to get to that block number 220 varies from coin to coin. Some coins generate blocks every 30 seconds. Some generate blocks every 2 minutes. Most coins generate blocks every 1 minute or 1.5 minutes. That is typical. Digicoin advertises that it generates blocks every 60 seconds. It has been my experience from looking at the blockchain that is not true. It's more along the lines of every 1.5 to 2 minutes. If we take a look right now at the pool, the average amount of time it takes to generate a block right now is 2 minutes and 3 seconds. And it's telling me that the pool is finding a block every 1 minute and 59 seconds. So you're probably sitting there scratching your head saying, well, how can the pool find blocks faster than the blockchain is even generating the blocks? Well, that's simple, because this number that you see here on the screen is an average. All right, and if I go back and I take a look at Digicoin, all right, oftentimes the number will be higher or lower. Remember how I said that sometimes blockchains can speed up and sometimes they can slow down? So that is typically what happens. But if we go along the lines of what they advertise, or what my experience has been just taking a look, let's say for instance that Digicoin is generating a block every minute and 30 seconds. So let's say every 90 seconds. And the stats here say that you need 120 confirms before you're going to get your coins. Well, if I take 90 seconds times 120, that is 10,080 seconds divided by 60 is 180 minutes. Of course, divide that by 60 and you have 3 hours. So for Digicoin, you're going to wait somewhere between 2 and 3 hours to get your coins, all right? Which is no big deal. It's only a big deal if you're in a hurry to sell them, all right? And it's been my experience is that whenever you're in a hurry to sell coins, the value of the coin is going to go up and make the wait even longer for your coins. I'm being facetious here, so just ignore me. So let's go back, all right? I promised I would tell you a little bit about the Stratum server. Now, LifeForce has 2 Stratum servers. And basically, these are servers running Linux, and they're running a piece of software called a Stratum software. Stratum software connects the wallet. It connects to the wallet, and it allows users to connect in from their mining machines. And Stratum software is an offshoot of FTP software. And probably most of you are familiar with FTP software. It stands for File Transfer Protocol, where you can log in anonymously or you can log in with a username and password. Well, the Stratum software is basically the same thing. In order to get logged in to the Stratum server, you have to create a worker, and you give it a password, or you don't have to give it a password. It really doesn't matter. Giving it a password isn't going to make it any more secure, or isn't going to do anything for you. I see most users don't even use passwords, and out of habit I use the same password over and over again, but it's not as if somebody can get in there and steal my shares. It's just not going to happen. So you don't have to worry about it. But let's pull up the Stratum server I have running right now. That is my EU Stratum, and I'm tailing the output from the log file for Digicoin right now, and I'm going to stop the tail. So let's just take a look. As you can see, we've just accepted shares from a user called Norbert, all right, and Norbert's miner is running at a difficulty of 4,096, and he just submitted 13,440 shares. All right, and then literally right after that, he submitted 4,486 shares. So his shares get inserted into the database, which is over here on the server, where we are keeping track of people's shares right here. So those number of shares keep on going up, and then as soon as a block is found, those shares get zeroed out, and the next round starts all over again. So the faster the machine, the faster the miner, the more shares that miner gets to submit in a short period of time. And that is how the coins in a block are divvied up at the end of the round, and rounds occur. So estimated time per round. So this pool is basically getting around every 1 minute and 59 seconds, and then these numbers get zeroed out, and we start all over again on the next round. And the coins in the block are basically divvied up based on the percentage of shares that you have. And it's a pretty simple process. So I hope that this video and the explanations have been helpful to you, give you a little bit more insight into how the pool works, and helps you become a little bit better miner. All right, thanks, and over and out. I'll see you in the next video.